All right, I think we're live. I never know how long this time delay thing's going. How's it going, everybody? I hope you're all having a great Sunday and weekend so far. I've got people send me funny text messages. That's why I was laughing right now. What's going on, Lorenzo? Carter's crazy. Oh, Carter, happy birthday, my man. Hope you're having a good one. What a good weekend it's going to be then. We got Jonah Berg straight in with the questions. Like, what's going on, Jonah? What's going on, Alex? What's going on, King OK? How's everybody doing? I'm keeping it a. What have you got for your birthday so far, man? What gift? Anything magic related? I just remember to publish this post to all the social medias, all the social places out in the world. There we go. It's now live. Oh, yo, David Blair, what are you doing? Can't stay for long. Bloody hell, guys! Drop some fire emojis for David Blair in the chat. David, man, blimey, thank you so much, dude. Wow, straight in there with a super chat, and I think I found the way to refresh the chat bar easier than normal. Dude, thank you so bloody much. I will get myself a bottle of water in Disneyland. Oh, and Jake with the super chat. What's going on, guys? Already, guys, drop some fire emojis, some heart emojis for Jake as well. Killing it already. What's happening today? Charlie Hewish, what's going on, Charlie, mate? How you doing, man? Chris from Oklahoma City. Cody just got the gold pin and the lecture notes. So glad they turned up. Cody, where are you in the world? Because that must have taken like 2 weeks to get to you. We got Noah, Dave, Enrique, Johnny Sevilla, Brendan, how are you? I'm kind of in a funk for creativity. Hope everyone's doing well. Graham, loads of cards for his birthday. Josh says enjoy Disney. I've been all right. Cheers, Charlie, man. I've been keeping all right. I've been, all the family is like run down with like colds and flu, which is typical. Because obviously whenever you go on holiday, everyone always seems to get ill. Yeah, I know Michael O'Brien. Michael's a legend, man. What's up, Mike Tyson by TKO? David Peace. Kathy, how's everybody doing? Rafi's magic. Yo, Rafi. Rich Relish, the genius. Oh, guys, I wanna tell you. I'll answer the question that came in about best card to impossible location later, and I'll also talk to you, Brenden, about being in a creative funk. But I just want to say that over the past 2 weeks, I think it is, myself, Craig Petty, Josh Riley, and Rich Relish, who's in the chat now, have been working on developing or figuring out what we believe is the closest solution to the holy grail of card magic, which is such a hypey thing to say, but it literally what we've got, as far as I say the word technology in the loosest terms, as far as what exists in magic in terms of methods and secrets, we believe, and I'm pretty confident that what all of us have worked on together is literally the closest thing to the perfect holy grail that will exist until somebody genuinely creates real magic. So excited to share that with you all. I believe there'll be a performance video coming very, very soon, as in the next week. But it's been a real team effort, and cheers from San Francisco. The real Sean Chandler. I got this tattoo in San Francisco. Me, Daniel Madison, when I got one when we were waiting for a flight home one time. But yeah, I didn't want to tease you guys too much. But yes, the trick that's coming out from combined efforts of me, Craig, Josh, and Rich. It's mainly like a Craig thing, but it wouldn't exist without everyone else doing it. It is literally probably the most excited I've ever been for and how ridiculously hyped that is. What it is just coming up. We've got basically what we think is like the number one solution for the holy grail of card magic. So, and Rich has it there right in front of him. All right, let me answer some questions. First up, I can see Brenden says that he's in a bit of a creative slump recently, and that totally happens to everyone. It happens to me all the time. The thing that I've been doing lately, and I briefly mentioned it on the Magic podcast, is that we don't realize, or a lot of people, it's not Jared, it's not mine and Craig's gaff deck. What a lot of people, well, I think I'm probably the last man on the totem pole to pick up on this, but I didn't realize how often my head is consumed. My brain, my mind is consumed almost 24/7, apart from when I'm sleeping. I wake up and I have my kid, we put the TV on, right? So we'll watch cartoons. And then when I'm making breakfast or I'm doing coffees, I'll put the radio on. And I'll take my dog for a walk, I'll put my headphones in. And when I'm working, I'll listen to music. And when I'm working, I'm consumed with, whatever's in front of me. And I find that like sometimes my brain just gets too clouded. And the other day I went to take my dog for a walk, and I was in a place where I like Brenden, I felt like I was in a creative block. So I grabbed my headphones and I scooted out the door, and I went to put my headphones in, and I was like, do you know what? I realized that again, when I'm going out for a walk to clear my head to try and get some like creative juices flowing, I was even going to listen to music and blur my head again. So one tip that I've been doing lately is to go outside, go for a walk, get some air, but don't take your phone, but like only use it in an emergency. Don't text your friends the whole way. Don't call anybody the whole way. Don't listen to music or podcasts the whole way unless you're going to listen to the Black Art podcast or the Magic podcast with Craig and Lloyd. But actually like chill your mind out properly. Like have a complete, like even if it's for half an hour, just have a complete like blank slate mindset. And that like really, I came back off that walk, and while I was there I was just thinking about, oh, what if I did this, what if I did this method, what if I had this, or what if I filmed somebody doing that instead of me actually doing it to them in the real world, blah blah blah. And I came back with a bunch of ideas, so that really 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 helped me. Like Rich says, you've got to give yourself the space to allow creativity, and often that can really like kickstart it. All right, so let's see some questions that are going to be coming in. What's the best card to impossible location? There's so many. The answer that you'll be given the most, which is like use the best one that suits, the best one for the situation you're in. But I can say with hand on heart, there are a couple of great ones that I know of. One of them is Kieran Johnson's card to candy bar or card to chocolate bar. And the reason I say that is because I remember filming that trailer, and he would just get screams reactions with it. So you can learn that from one of his old projects. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But if you speak to Kieran, he'll tell you. He says one of his famous pieces, you take a playing card, you tear it a corner off, and then the remainder of the card vanishes via whether you eat it or not. And it appears in a chocolate bar. And I remember like he even put the chocolate bar in somebody's handbag. And at the end, he revealed it in there. So that was a great card to impossible location. I'm super biased because I do my version of Angle Z, but the way that I do it, I can have the spectator's signature on both parts of the card. So the signature is on the torn corner as well as the full card. So when they find the torn corner anyway, it matches up the whole thing. Now, obviously, it's not real magic, so there's a method. But from the participant's point of view, when they take back the card and they match it, their signature like literally is on the card. So it's one of the more impossible versions of doing that. So that's another great card to impossible location. Or you can go with something like Paper Clipped by Jay Sankey. If anybody's seen that, then it allows you to place that paperclip anywhere you want and do the routine. So that's another great card to impossible location. Alex Bow. Yo, Alex, what are you doing? Wow, guys, seriously, drop like 8, 10 10 fire emojis each. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for Alex Bow. Dude, mate, thank you so much. You did not have to do that super chat. That's crazy. That's literally crazy. Thank you so much, dude. Michael Shaw says, yes, earliest I've gotten to hop on the live stream. Tigger T says, hello everyone, happy Sunday. How have you been? I'm good. Got loads of cards. Where am I? My Blackpool package should be here soon. Got stuck in customs because I think you actually wrote the worth of the package was £160. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, dude. That was Kay. I remember Kaylee asking me, do we write down how much the retail price is? And I said yes, because in case it got lost. I don't know. I apologize though, but I'm glad that it's at least there. Let's see some questions. Vladislav, I hope I pronounced that correctly, says, hi Lloyd, thank you for your great ideas which inspired The Magician. What do you think about Oracle effect with Bill? Which version do you prefer or more like? Any advice about this type of routine? I personally don't do any Oracle routines, but my favorite version I've seen in a practical sense or in a way that could be performed isn't a tutorial, but it's performance. And if you go on to, and I'm hoping like Alex maybe could link it in the chat, but there's a bar in Liverpool called the Oracle Bar, and Lewis Laval is one of the performers. It's a magic bar, and 2 years ago, I believe, they did a live show called The Seance. And that whole show, including their new show as well, called The Witch in the Woods, but the Seance show is a show with Lewis Laval at the helm of it. He's the main act, and it's a small parlor room with about 20 guests, and Lewis Laval does his whole like hour-long act, and there's a oracle routine in there, and it's absolutely incredible. There's my dog going crazy, and it's on YouTube, and even though it's not an explanation, it's a real performance to a real audience. The inspiration you'll get just from watching that, the style, the way he handles things is priceless. So head to YouTube. I'm sure somebody can link it down in the comments. Go to the Oracle Bar's channel on YouTube and find The Seance. It's an hour-long video. And if you're into the Oracle, if you're into ironically Oracle style effects, like Q&As with billets, then that is literally like the best thing I've watched in so long. Enrique Lepetra, I can't pronounce it, says, do you like Julio Montoro? I love Julio Montoro. I think he's such a good dude. He's got some great ideas, and yeah, he's been going for like the same amount of time as me, it seems like, for years and years in the game. Yeah, Julio's great. I am hyped already, says Rafi's. Smash the like button, people. Oh, yo, James Brett from New York. What's going on, man? How you doing? When will your next lecture be in the Philippines, says Johnny Sevilla. I don't know when my next lecture in the Philippines is. I would like to do a lecture in the Philippines. So, Johnny, there's only a few places. I mean, I've said that apart from any prior commitments that I've said yes to, that I don't want to do any more lectures. But I would absolutely do a couple of smaller lectures in certain countries that I want to visit or return back to. And the Philippines is for sure on that list. So if you book me, like in Wayne's World, then they will come, or I will come. Josh says, when's his deck coming? Craig has that for you. Miko says, is it a book, a deck, or gimmick deck? I cannot tell you what it is, Miko. Am I going to sell it? It's going to be a product in the magic market. I live like an hour away from Lloyd. Yes, you do, Carter's Crazes. All right. Respect back to you, man. Thank you, James. Okay, let me try and catch up with these comments. It always jumps. I came up with Auto Break, which is in Penguin Magic. Oh, wow, that's cool. I'll go and check that out. 90 Day Finance says, am I going to see the new Mario movie? For sure. Absolutely going to see it. With Chris Pratt as Mario. That's my terrible trick. My terrible impression of that sound. I have been trying to create a version of Matt Parker 1 in 362,888 card trick, but I'm missing the kicker, the part that makes the trick truly magical. I have never heard of that trick. Could someone explain to me what that is? Because I am pretty stupid, but I do nerd out over math. It sounds like a maths trick or number-based trick. Carter, can we meet up for a jam soon, as I live very close to you? Yeah, we could, dude. Actually, I think I had an email from your dad that mentioned something about meeting up. The only reason I haven't responded is because I'm off on holiday, but I will get back to my emails next week and we can arrange something for sure. The best impromptu book test, says Jonah Berg. Oh, there's so many good impromptu book tests. I'm not good at remembering the names from book tests, but there's one basically where you just there's one you can do with numbers, which is if you force the page number of any page number, then you can have somebody think of the first word on that page. And there's so many simple number forces out there. There's you could have somebody think of any number between 20 and 30, add the two digits together and take them away from the original number, which will always force the number 18. You could use the 1089 force, which is and then you could have somebody look for page 108 and then the 9th line down, remember the first word there. And if anyone doesn't know the 1089 force, it's where you take a 3-digit number and then reverse that 3-digit number and you take one away from the other. Then whatever the total is, you reverse the total and add that onto the total and it gives you the number 10. It's something like this, but the only caveat is that you reverse the bigger numbers. So let's say I think this is right, I'm probably getting this wrong on camera now, but it's something like, let's say the number is 654, then you minus 456, which equals 198. So then you plus 891. Yeah, it gives you 1089. So you have somebody think of a 3-digit number, any 3-digit number, but you're going to reverse it and you want the bigger number to be the smaller version of that number to be taken away. So let's say the number is 953. So you reverse that, which is 359. That gives you 594. And then you say reverse that number and add it on. So plus 495. 495 gives you 1089. So then you can have somebody go to page 108, look at the 9th word down, and remember the first word of that line. And of course, you can just peek that before you do the effect. So you can pick up a book, flick to page 108, remember the 9th word down, close the book, and then proceed. So you can just do that completely impromptu. I actually think I seen somebody, a magician, 15 odd years ago, use that in a massive stage routine. So you could just do that. But I'm not like a full-on, like well-read mentalist, so I'm not the best person to ask. Okay, let's catch up on some comments. Hello from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. What's going on, John? I've got a Toronto airport tattooed on me there. Have I ever been to Tannen's Magic Shop? Yeah, I've been to Tannen's quite a lot of times in New York. It's incredible. It's actually like it's got an air to it, which is a real magic shop. What's the best way to pick the right music for your performance, and have I ever done busking? So I've never done busking, and I've never really used music in my performances. I use music on my YouTube channel, and I generally tend to use like chill hop style music, which is just like lo-fi beats and things, because I don't want my music to distract from my visuals of what I'm doing. But very different probably for a performance if I was going to perform in public, you know. Ventura, California. What's going on, John? I've been to Ventura. I stayed in Ventura, California. And then I went to that amazing burger place called Bill's. Is it Bill's Burgers? The old guy Bill who makes like the best burgers in the world. Thanks, I will listen to music when I'm running 3 to 6 miles. Try it without music. Yes, Jake, my friend Jake Keane, who co-hosts the Black Art podcast with me, he suggests running without music to clear your mind, which is great. Carter's Crazy says, will I do any lectures in Wales? I actually did one a couple of weeks ago. My first like rough lecture for the warm-up for Blackpool was January something. Kevin says, just got here. Did you say when your, I won't say what trick it is coming out? There's not an official release date yet, but the first videos will start appearing next week, I believe. And then very, very, very quick after that. It was supposed to be Blackpool. Was at least going to be the first version of it out. But we pushed it back because life. Rich is right. It's his DVD called Chaotic, where you can learn Kieran's card in Chocolate Bar. Ben Williams says, how you doing, bro? Ben, what's going on? I'm so sorry. These comments are like miles back, so I need to like go through and catch up with them. Hello from South Africa. What's up, Stephen? Oh, Adam Wilbur's in the chat. Adam, so sorry, man. I didn't see all these chat. I missed you, dude. What's going on? Do you still get nerves, and how do you overcome them? Asks Alex. Yeah, dude, big time. So like for Blackpool, I wasn't nervous to go on stage. I wasn't nervous to lecture, but my body took over. So I didn't think that I was nervous, but for the first 5 minutes, my hands turned to like stone. So when I was going to do something that required, I was going to do a card switch that required a bit of sleight of hand, my hands just became way heavier and more like hard to use than I thought they were going to. And it was, I know that it was nerves, but I didn't feel the nerves. Does that make sense? So the way I did it was just to, I just kind of just realized that it was nerves and that they would go. And so I just kept going. I like didn't stop. There was a moment when I was like, if I stop, I'm gonna turn to stone. So I just didn't. And I thought if I like sort of breathe and take that in for a minute, then I'm gonna freeze. So I just didn't let it. I didn't stop I didn't stop to think that I was nervous, if that makes sense. I was just like move, keep moving, keep going, and then I just loosened up and I was good. More than anything, when it comes to doing things like big lectures or anything, like even like on my wedding day, I get bored. I'm really impatient. Like if I could have done my wedding at 5 a.m. just to be like up and out the door and done, I'd have done that. If I could have done my lecture at 4 a.m, so I could just wake up out of bed and just go and straight do it, I would do that. So my worst nightmare would have been like if I was lecturing at like Blackpool at 6 p.m. on the Sunday. Like I think I would have just said no. I was so happy to be the first out the gates because I'm so impatient. Rosario Davey asks Dex. I had to check, make sure I didn't have Dex accidentally on show then. It's coming. What Alki says, what's a style of magic you love to watch but you couldn't perform due to my character or skills? That's such a good question, dude. I absolutely love watching like classic parlor magic. So magic with silks and thumb tips and wine glasses. I absolutely like love that style of magic. But it's completely not me. So anything with routines with like big coins or eggs that turn into silks, and anything that's like classic. I'm thinking in like the magic books, it would always be like the miscellaneous section. or parlor section, any magic like that, even like cups and balls, I love watching that style of magic, but it completely wouldn't suit me. That's why I'm gonna plug Adam Wilbur's Coffee Cups and Beans effect. I love so much because it's cups and balls for people like me that can't bring themselves to fit into a character that doesn't work for them. Jared, put some fire emojis. You have the best tutorials on Tuesday. Oh, thanks, dude. Any inspirations on shooting or editing trailers? I don't have any inspirations when I edit and shoot trailers. I mean, massively influenced by Peter McKinnon. Hugely. I mean, I worked with him for years, traveled with him alongside Adam as well. But when it comes to specifically editing trailers, my way of doing it is I tend to edit, or my style of trailers is born from what I hate about magic trailers and what I don't like about magic trailers. And I always think, what do I believe is the important parts for me? If I was a consumer, if I was going to purchase this magic trick, what would I be looking for in a trailer? It's all well and good. Like, I always laugh. I'll give one tip away for magic trailers if you're going to edit one, because it's the biggest mistake that mostly every magic company misses or makes, which is when you're going to shoot live performances, so to real people, you only get one shot at the reaction. So if I have my camera guy go out and shoot for me, or if I'm shooting, which is rare these days because I just don't have time, and normally I'll have somebody go out as a cinematographer for me. My instruction to that guy is, take that camera, put it on a tripod or a monopod or handhold it, and stick it on the lay person's face, and don't move it. Do not move that camera from their face, because you can, when you're in the studio or as a cutaway, you can reshoot the visual part of the trick in the magician's hands over and over and over again, so that you can show people, the B-roll and the visual stuff. The one shot you can't get twice is the spectator's reaction. And it's one of those things that I don't want to tell magic companies when they screw it up, because it's like a little secret of mine that I use to enhance my trailers. But you see so many, even people that post to social media, they'll have somebody filming their hands doing a trick and they're performing it. There'll be a trick I'm using this as a I don't know, what's a trick that happens in the spectator's hands? Something like Omni Deck, right? The participant will move the hand away, the camera will be filming the magician's hand. People are screaming, this is the best trick ever, what the hell? And all you see at home or in the trailer is just the image of the deck on someone's hand. And then it catches them calming down. So, yeah, my number one tip, by the way, I'm fully addicted to cola bottle sweeties. Oh, favourite thing in the world. Thomas Bradley asks, how much is it going to cost in terms of that holy grail trick that I was talking about? I don't know yet. Casper says, something I would really like to know. When are you going to grow a proper beard? Dude, this isn't a proper beard for a 12-year-old child. Okay, where's these comments? So many comments. I should not have eaten that cola bottle while doing a live stream. Did you see Mystery Solved 2.0 from David Penn at Blackpool? I did not see that. I didn't even know there was a Mystery Solved 2.0. And now I want to see it. Stephen Devon Rue says, can I still buy Tempest? As it's discontinued? I have no idea what that company has done or is doing to my apps that I released through them. But I wouldn't. I have no idea what's happening with my apps over there, so I just can't say. I wouldn't suggest getting them. But what I will say is that there's a better version of that coming soon, or something like that. Rafi's Magic says, have you seen the new ring trick? I can't remember what it's called, but it moves around your fingers and it looks dope. I have seen that and it looks crazy magical, right? You have a ring and the ring starts like floating around your fingers. Crazy. Dave Harvey says, got your Moonshine deck and think it's awesome. However, know there's so much more to do with it and can't decipher certain things. Is there a tutorial link for the deck or anything that may help? There's not a tutorial link for the deck. The deck is fully marked on the back. The best way to see the markings is to flick through them, and it's really simple to read. There are 4 dots that you'll see change, and that's in reading direction: clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds, chased order, and then you'll see the values right next to them. Tom Cooker says, "Hi Lloyd, hope you're doing well. Still waiting on you to reply to my text." Wait, I did reply to you, Tom Cocker. I apologize. I'm sure I did. Let me see. I replied to you. Oh yes. Well, okay, I got it. I've got the thing. It wasn't a text that had a question in. I'm useless. I will reply. Sorry, Tom. Tigger T says, I tried to decipher the Moonshine deck and have to give up. Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't have the Moonshines, the Vintage Elixir, which is the 3rd edition, they have a full treasure hunt built into them. But it's very, very hard to do. Brenden Latkovich says, Lloyd, I just emailed you to where to see Matt Parker. Oh, thank you so much, dude. Lloyd, I swear you have a tattoo for everything. I pretty much have a lot of tattoos. A lot of my tricks are built into tattoos. Mark Paul, AAA book test is a bit. Yeah, that's true. That's a great one. Magic Alan says, what's up? Learned the 1089 Force in 1937 pocket book called published as Easy When You Know How. That's a great trick. John Hay says, is the Magic Circle in the UK the same Magic Circle that people sign up in every Magic clubs? I'm not sure. I do know that I've heard of other Magic Circles, which is like the Bradford Magic Circle. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know Bradford Magic. But all I know is that there's one Magic Circle, and it's that one, the magiccircle.co.uk. That's the main one that I know. I'm a member, apparently, somehow. Even though I'm doing tutorials. Can't believe Blackpool was insane meeting you there. Oh, thank you so much, dude. It was so good to meet you as well. I may or may not have binge watched 7 of your videos today. Thank you so much, dude. By the way, so I'm going to Disneyland Paris tomorrow morning at like 4 a.m, which is disgusting. I think that should be illegal to wake up that early in the morning. But so essentially, I'm away. I'm not available. But I didn't want to leave you beautiful people in the lurch. So I very quickly shot a tutorial Tuesday for you all today. And so it's super visual, very extremely I'd say there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced sleight of hand. I put it up there in like this advanced-ish sleight of hand section. Visual trick coming out for Tutorial Tuesday, so stick around for that. I've scheduled it to go out live at 2 p.m. UK time, which is like 3 hours before now, wherever you are in the world. But it'd be super helpful if you guys could share that video when it comes out, because I won't be here to share it. I've set up a few social media posts, but it would be wicked if any of you could help me by sharing the tutorial just to get the views up. And then on Wednesday at the same time as this, now at 5 p.m, I've scheduled, because we recorded it on Friday night last minute, the second episode of the Black Art podcast with me and Jake Keane. So I think you guys are going to love that. Again, if you want to help us out by sharing it, that would be a huge help. But the second episode will be on my YouTube channel as always, or you can go to thebblackartco.com and then you'll be able to view everything from there. So I don't know if one of the admins wants to put, or one of my mods, sorry, can put thebblackartco.com down in the chat window, and you can check that out. And then don't forget, I'm also a co-host of the Magic podcast with me and Craig, but those tend to be like 3 to 4 hour long podcasts, and I didn't have the time to record that this week. So we have 2 guests stepping in, I believe, to take my place. That goes out at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night, but most people hear it in the morning on a Thursday. So you can check that out on Wednesday as well. But yeah, can I just ask, how many of you listened to the first episode of the Black Art podcast? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, what you thought about it, if you enjoyed it, if you loved it, if you hated it, what you want to see more of, if you have any questions for the next episode. I'd really, really appreciate that. And yeah, it's a major passion project for me and Jake. Basically, so many questions come in on my YouTube channel asking, how do I create magic, or what's it like? And a lot of people tend to ask, how do you create with somebody else? And what I found was, you often find people that you can create well with. One of those persons for me is like Craig Petty. Another one is Jake Keane. And me and Jake have a very similar way of thinking about magic, in that we're not tied into creating magic to perform at gigs, which is like tricks which need to be instant reset, and they need to be perfect for every situation. Because we don't gig, or currently don't gig, the times that we can perform, we are able to pick and choose when, and we're able to take bigger risks. And we're also able to pre-plan in advance to make some serious, real moments of magic. And also because we're not like gigging, we're not trying to create commercial styled magic. So with that being said, we end up having these crazy conversations and these like really wild creative sessions where we end up creating tricks which may not be for everyone or for every circumstance, but there's certainly tricks that we are going to perform. And anyway, we decided to just simply record those sessions. And the rule was that like everything we talk about in them, not really a rule, but like what Jake said is, he and myself personally, we are gonna share, whether it's, it could be our best ideas, stuff which could go on to be products, or stuff you wouldn't necessarily want out there in the ether. That's the stuff that's gonna come out. So second episode's coming. We come up with an amazing thing which makes you think, maybe somebody has done it before, we don't know, but we just talked about it. We came up to this amazing idea for a really, really novel way of doing something which a lot of people already love, and I'm super hyped for you all to hear about it anyway. So yeah, don't forget, tune in. You can follow us at the Black Art Co on Instagram too. But yeah, we'd really appreciate to hear your feedback, guys, because we were so hyped to do it. And also, thank you. We're like combined. So we are like over, because when I put it up on my YouTube channel and was fully expecting to get like 500 views or listens, in that first week, we over double that. And then with our metrics from the other podcasting services too, we use Audio Boom. We are way over 1,000 listens in the first week alone. It's only Sunday, it went out on Wednesday. So actually in the first 4 days, we're well over 1,000 listens. And that completely blew our expectations and our minds. So just massive, massive thank you to everyone that listened to it so far. All right, let me catch up with some of these comments. I'm going to try and see where we're at. Let me see. Mike, what's going on, Mike? How you doing, buddy? All right, so I can't believe Blackpool, by the way, maybe in a creative funk, but you can still count on me to timestamp the events. Yeah, everyone, drop some love in the chat for Brenden Latkovich. Every single week, he listens to the Sunday Service Live and he comments down below with this timestamp chapter marker so people can quickly skip through the video to certain parts or come listen to the live stream and then go back to certain parts they want to listen to. So massive thank you to Brenden, like huge respect to you, man. Thank you so much. B the Magician says, learning showreel as we speak. Oh, dude, how good is showreel? How insane is that? I like, it still feels like it's one of those tricks that's just real. They just think of something and you John Hayes says, do your hands sweat when performing? If so, do you use like baby powder? No, my hands do sweat, and then they also go super dry as well. But when I was younger, I had atopic eczema on my skin. It was really bad. I used to have ultraviolet light treatment called PUVA treatment. I had to have some really extreme, not steroids, but steroid medication and stuff that would... I used to take this medication because it got so bad. It was the medication that you get when you have transplants, like internal organ transplants, instead to help skin regeneration. So because of that, my skin was never... My hands, well, I used to have to wear like cream and gloves so often, so my hands were never really in a normal condition. So all the sleights that I primarily learned growing up were sleights that could be performed or used regardless of skin condition. So I never learned to do the muscle pass because that would be quite dependent on your skin condition. So instead I mastered the finger palm, which sounds ridiculous. I also never learned how to do classic palms with playing cards because that requires a certain type of feel to the skin. Couldn't have that. So I learned to do other palms with playing cards and mastered those. So yeah, in terms of sweat or lack thereof, it's not an issue for me because I had to adapt to be able to do certain sleights that can be done in any condition, which I always up until very recently felt was a massive negative, but now I feel like it's more of a positive for me because I went to places like the Philippines, like India, which are some of the most humid places on planet Earth. And that would if anyone's been there, you walk out and your cards are instantly destroyed in your pocket from humidity and moisture. And because it wasn't an issue because I'd already coped with that issue in the past, it meant I was fine. So I've seen it as a more of a thing. Matthew Brakeman says, hello, sorry I'm late. No worries, Matthew, at least you're here. Casper says, I try to use my nerves to help me perform. I use it to make things look more sloppy and hide the moves I'm doing. That's a great shout. Yeah, you can totally... Anything like that you can use to your advantage. Are you planning new contests for magicians? It would be great. It's always great to see it. Yeah, so we actually, Alex Bow in particular is organising a big contest or a big giveaway for the Society of Secrets where people will have to enter and then somebody will win a huge amount of prizes, which is going to be exciting. But that'll be coming when I get back from Disneyland. Can you perform the new deck for us as a teaser? I cannot, sorry. Anthony says, Lloyd, Craig and Julio Montoro, my 3 favourite magicians. Wow, thank you, dude. Cups and Beans is great. Jonah Berg, do you have Michael Murray's book, A Piece of My Mind? I don't, but I've read excerpts from it. It's really good. That's the other thing as well. So not only did I, because I'm going away, not only did I schedule a tutorial Tuesday and who's this? Oh, Jeremy Griffith is in the building. Oh, dude. Drop 10 heart emojis for Jeremy. Jeremy, man, how are you? And I just got to say, I've shared it already on my channel community. Let's refresh this page thing. But Jeremy's video on... Actually, I'm going to go and grab it right now when we're live. I believe Jeremy's latest YouTube video, or the last video he posted on YouTube, is absolutely required watching. And it's especially in like the time and place that we are in Magic. Let me try and find this link. Magic That Matters is what it's called. And you can find it on Jeremy's channel. Let me link this here for y'all. Please, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it and subscribe to Jeremy. He's the best card handler I think I've ever seen, and have so many good memories of Jeremy. I hope life's treating you good, dude. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wait, Lloyd, okay, so many comments. I'm trying to catch up with them. What are some awesome magic books? Some really awesome magic books to have. The Art of Astonishment books by Paul Harris are always up in my top 3 of all time. I like Mentalismo by John Bannon. Darren Brown's Pure Effect is a great book. There's so many. I like 5x5, The Magic of Japan. That's an amazing book. just the list is endless. There's so many good things. John says, do you use a mirror or camera to practice? I've heard differences for both. Generally, I'll use a camera to practice. So it was Paul Daniels I heard say in a lecture once that if you use a mirror to practice, so I'll show you some really bad passes just because I'm a glutton for punishment. If you use a mirror to practice, when you're watching yourself in the mirror, say you're doing the pass, people will tend to like jump or jitter, or if you're doing a color change that requires a bit of like a color change that you want to do it perfect so nothing flashes, then people will tend to blink when the move happens because they don't want to give it away. When you do it on camera and you don't watch yourself back, it's very hard to jump because you're watching it in post, and then you can pick it apart. And I also find then you can improve your angles and work out what your better angles are. So is that terrible? I think that's terrible. 3 of hearts. I think I'm flashing so bad there. Oof. Anyways, oh, what? Super David, peace, man. What are you doing? Yo, performed a gig last night with a burnt palm, and luck saved me during the event as I could barely hold a deck of cards. Ah, dude, thank you so much, man. Wow. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And drop some fire emojis for David in the chat window there. Let me refresh this right here. Refresh. Man, thank you so much. Okay, where are we at? Let it show reel. I'm so far back in the chat. Looking for the new deck. Cups and Beans is great. Cups and Beans is so good. But greatest trick ever created. Well, I definitely think that the most fascinating premise ever created is the any card at any number, because I think it's the most fantasized about trick from every magician, or it's the one trick that, you know, mostly, especially card guys, will all desire to create the best version of. The best trick to perform, it definitely is one of those answers where it depends on your audience, because you can have somebody different personality types. So some people are into mentalism, like some people are into astrology and star signs, so that type of magic or mentalism really hits home for them. Yet they could see a Tenyo style gimmicky visual trick and just be bored. And then the same goes for the other way around as well. So, but for me, the best trick ever created, oh, it's such a tough one. It's such a tough one. It's got to be, for me, it's got to be the trick that got me into magic, Dr. Daly's last trick. It's the first magic trick I seen that made me experience what I think is that feeling of astonishment. And we covered this sort of last week quite in depth, but it's got to be that, right? Also, yeah, David, you burnt your hand. I didn't even think to ask, how are you? How rude of me is that? I hope your hand's all right, mate. As a magician, it's probably like the worst injury you could get. By the way, as I've tried to catch up, cola bottle sweets are the best. The baby hand trick, but with a little toy sheep instead of a hand. What do you think? Gets crazy reactions in Wales. It's actually not even a bad idea, because in Wales that would go down a storm, and I hate that it's not a bad idea. I also recorded another video to be scheduled. It's for the Society of Secrets. It's what I believe is the best card at any number I've ever created. So that drops on Tuesday. It's free to all members of the Society of Secrets. If you're not a member already, then head over to patreon.com/LloydB, and you get access to everything that's there, including the Discord community. But it's got things like the coin and bottle, which I basically like built like my consulting career off without ever sharing it with anyone. It's got a Triumph, which some people think is in their opinions is like the best triumph ever, but that makes me sound like egotistical. It's got my full lecture that I did at Blackpool, or the dry run version of it, which is actually longer and has more stuff in there. It's got footage from TV shows that I consulted on and secrets from there. Plus, then on Tuesday it'll have the what I think is the best card at any number I've ever created. It's got a ton of stuff in there. But if you want to check that out, it drops on Tuesday. Head over to patreon.com/LloydB. We've got Drew Perry in the building. Absolute genius. What's going on, Drew? Hope you're having a good weekend, dude. All right. Okay, I'm trying to catch up with these comments. There's the nerves comment. Best tutorial Tuesdays. Moonshines. I've scrolled way too far back. Fizzy cola bottles are even better. Stu, I actually didn't want fizzy cola bottle today, but I do agree with you, the better, but I specifically wanted non-fizzy. When is yours and Craig's gaff deck coming out? I believe all the cards are now designed, but we're just waiting on the print run, so that could take like 10 weeks, and then a trailer to go with it. And then like probably 10 hours of tutorials. This gaff project with me and Craig is so big that if it was on DVDs, it'd be like a 6 DVD set, I think. Dave Harvey says, yeah, I can see all that, but it's the 6 of spades / Joker that got me. Okay, I can't remember what that's. Oh, okay. I think. Are you getting a tattoo at Disney? I don't know if they have a tattoo studio there. I totally would, though. Okay, everyone's talking about the moonshines. Sean Devine says, hey, you handsome devil. Sean, how are you, my good friend, man? Guys, if you're not watching Sean Devine's YouTube channel, you're doing something wrong. If you shouldn't be subscribed to me, you should be subscribed to him. He literally does the best, it's almost like ASMR to me. It's so therapeutic to watch Sean perform and teach card magic. He's in the comments there. Click on his profile. Get off my live stream and go and subscribe to his channel. It's legit so good. What's your honest opinion on Vox? I really like Vox. I was speaking about this last week, especially because I do so much like ACAAN work, and I released Maxim not so long back. But and what I was saying about it last week is that it's like it feels like Colossal Killer to me, which is for some reason it hits bigger than you'd imagine it to. So Colossal Killer, anybody that does that, it's the trick that it says off by 1 on the back. So if eventually somebody names, for example, the 8 of spades, which is impossible, Colossal Killer, but you'd be like, boom, I've got the 9 of spades. And people are like, oh, yeah, close. And then you say, but I've written on the back, off by 1. And people lose their minds. And if I said last week, it's not one of those things that I think if I'd ever even come up with that idea, I would never have published it because I would have gone, nah, it'll never play well. And it plays bigger than anybody who does Colossal Killer knows that you pray they do not get the card bang on because you want to get that reveal. You want it to be wrong because then it'll play bigger. Vox for me feels like that. In my head when I seen it, it shouldn't work as well because you're as a magician thinking. But lay audiences love it. They go crazy for it. So it's one of those tricks for me which I just think is fantastic because somebody thought of it and went and did it and then realized, okay, I'm onto something. And also then it's really well taught and everything's thought out on there. But everyone's different, each their own. Your card through bill didn't download right and is a little off. I'm using transparency film paper. Is that the right paper? I like I said in the tutorial, I go to a specific printer and have them print it with a CMYW printer because most at-home printers will not be able to print them. So it might be best to go to a professional printer and they'll be able to handle it for you. Okay, Michael Shaw says, okay, Matthew said, I started it, but I've not had time to finish, to be honest. That's fair enough, dude. It's quite long. Michael says, loved the first episode of the Black Art podcast, the method, ideas, the presentation and motivations, and you and Jake's vibe. Thank you so much. I watched the Black Art video. It was awesome, insightful. Thank you so much, dude. Really enjoyed the podcast, says David. It's like jamming with magic friends. Yeah, that was the hope going into it. Alex says, the podcast was great. Loved that it was like a jam session rather than talking about what's happening. Black Art was great, says Sean. Going to use that toner restored / salt and pepper packets. Thanks, dude. I was also thinking the other day as well, in terms of the coin and sugar packet effect that I put on my tutorial Tuesday last week, I think it was. Instead of doing a coin, if you're at a coffee house, because so many people don't have coins on them anymore. So instead of using a coin, you could use the torn part of like a different sugar packet, or like a sweetener packet, or a pepper packet, or a salt packet. I just think that might be a bit more organic, and then you could use it as an impossible location. So, for example, and I think I have some somewhere. Yeah. If you say you're at McDonald's, somewhere where they would have sugar because they serve coffee there, and they would have salt and pepper, it would be wicked to prepare a sugar packet by taking a salt packet, tearing off the top and placing it inside, and then taking that pepper packet with you. So the 3/4 of it. So imagine it's like this much of it, all right? And coming to the table, sitting down, putting some sugar down, and showing some salt. Pretend to tear this one, so you're like, all right? And then maybe put the pepper on your food, because it makes sense to do that, and you won't really be able to see it if it goes inside like the carton of fries. And hold on a second. Yo, Matthew Breitman. Yo, thank you so much, dude. Everyone drop some fire emojis in the chat there for Matthew, mate. Thank you so much. Let me refresh this little stream thingy. And he says, any tricks you can teach that will fool other magicians? Okay, that's the challenge now, isn't it? Any tricks I can teach right now to fool another magician? What's a good little magician fooler? So I always use this at conventions, and I'm not sure, you've probably seen this before, so I'm on the spot. As I'm showing this, I'll try to think of another one. But if I take, there's a trick, this trick. It's called the Crazy Man's Handcuffs, right? So I love it, but I always hate that you have to do a move. So I thought it'd be good to do it without the move. I can do it again. So I take the rubber band like this. Oops, get my thumb in and see it, and then and it melts through. So I'm not sure if I've shown you that before, Matthew. If I haven't, then I'll teach it to you. If not, then I'm wasting your time. What's another good trick to fool magicians? See, I know a lot of magician foolers, but a lot of them happen under the table. I'm on the spot now because it's super chat. I feel inclined to come up with a magician fooler right here. Magician fool. I'm looking around for something that I potentially would fool magicians with. I'm waiting to see if Matthew had seen that effect before. What's happened to my voice? My voice is gone. Here's a cool color change as well, which sometimes gets magicians, which I'll happily teach. So, can I teach the trick? I did sound okay. So, King of Clubs. So watch the King as it changes into the 10. So have you seen that from me? That's a colour change that tends to catch magicians out because they don't expect it to be a singular card at the end. Okay, so Matthew has seen that trick. Have you seen that colour change? Ayub Khalid says, what's your version of sandwich hand? Sandwich hand or which hand? I've never heard of sandwich hand. Yes, Lloyd, how did you fool young Sammy? Oh, Sam Sugarman. So when I was at, I went for coffee. Okay, cool. So I'll teach you this because so Matthew did a super chat for a magician fooler. Okay, cool. I'll think of more for you, Matthew, as well in the meantime, but just for now. So again, the color change is my t-shirt down. We'll turn over the top card, the 6 of diamonds. And what we have to do is wave. It becomes a singular card. So this is called the Maniacal change. You can change it back. The way it works is like this. It's quite complicated actually. I'm going to turn over a double. So I take 2 cards. I turn over the double, and as I push them over, I'm going to get a break under this card here, right? So it's effectively going to end up as a triple with 3 cards, all right? So here, it can be a nice slop double. Like I use Bill Perkins' slop double quite often. So now I pick up that 3 card packet in an overhand middle grip. So from your point of view, you see this. And what I'm going to do is grip this card like that, all right? The corner of it. And I'm going to come over and it's going to look like I placed the card on top of the deck. But what's actually going to happen is I strip out these 2 cards in between my index finger and middle finger, okay? Now I lay these 2 cards like a book, like that. And I'm going to pull back like a shotgun 1 card. So using my middle finger, I pull back that 1 uppermost card. Okay, so it's like... And now, as I come up and wave my hand around, I square the 2 in. And I squeeze my fingers. That'll cause this to close like a book. Sorry, you can hear my kid screaming. And it'll execute the change, leaving you with 1 singular card outjogged. And then to clean up, you can do like an undercover switch. So, from performance view, steal 2 cards, shotgun load, change. From exposed view, push over a double, get a triple, steal 2, load, change. From the front from here, push over a double, grab the triple, steal 2, load, and change. And then you can do this. So one more time from the front. These are refresh. Show the queen. Have it change into a single card. And then when you want to, you can change that card. Oops, back. Hope that was okay. I tend to all the magician fooling stuff that I keep in my repertoire is mostly all taught in the Society of Secrets. So I was a bit on the spot to think of another magician fooler that I haven't taught before in the Society of Secrets. But I hope that was okay, dude. All right. So where were we at with the comments? Drew, I'm so glad you're having a great weekend, my friend. Can you hear my kid going there? Nah T says I finally learned Tony Chang's sandwiches and it's ridiculous. Gets gets ridiculous reactions if done correctly. Yeah, if done correctly, but I can't do that trick. Favorite trick with a stripper deck? Oh, dude, so many. So many, I can't even begin. Morning, daylight savings, slept in. Oh, it's daylight savings in America. Nice. Faro is difficult, but how about riffle casino type shuffle for stacking cards? I remember Joe Barry put out and then retracted a thing called the perfect riffle shuffle, where you could riffle shuffle like a Faro. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. What else do we have here? The trick that cannot be explained is a contender for the best trick ever. There's just no explanation for the miracle that takes place. Hence, yeah, dude, it's the best. It's the best. I get so excited when a magician says, "I've never heard of the trick that can't be explained." I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. Drew, where are you in Wales? What are you doing in Wales? I can see you're in Wales. B, the magician, says, what would you say is your strongest effect on the Society of Secrets? The strongest effect on there is probably... there's the strongest effect on it. Well, the coin and bottle is on there, which is a slow motion visual coin and bottle, but it's impromptu. And I use that to open so many doors for me as a young creator. I've never shared it anywhere before publicly, and that's in there. There's a triumph where you actually shuffle the cards in a borrowed deck, shuffle the cards face up into face down, and the spectators can actually shuffle them face up into face down, and it's instantly the right way, and that destroys magicians and laymen. And then I've got an effect where a card selected and lost in the deck, 3 people think of a number, no forces, and you deal down, and the card's exactly at that number, which is quite crazy. And then there's another thing on there where it's basically you have somebody think of any card in the deck, and you nail it 100%, and it just feels just way too like close to real. So that's some of my favorite or more stronger stuff on there. They're all super practical. Some are different skill levels, but they're all things that you can actually perform. It's not like you're just gonna get lucky and do it. Can't wait until my magic videos can be on my thumb in my fingerprint. Do you use apps to make thumbnails? I make game reviews and thumbnails would help a lot. I use Photoshop to make the thumbnails. What's y'all's favourite hardest book? By Forces Unseen is Destroy Me. Yeah, that's a killer book. Good luck with that, dude. Guy Hollingworth's Drawing Room Deceptions is quite a hard one to do as well, right? I find that with fine print as well. It's similar to Off by One. Yeah, fine print by Sankey is another great effect. When deck's coming out. All right, okay, I'm going to start to bring this to a close as my kid is going to bed, as you can hear. But I just want to say thank you all so much for all the love. Thank you for all the super chats. All of you guys are just too beautiful. Favorite trick in Magic Monthly. Oh, the know-in principle in Magic Monthly is so good. Trying to see if there's anything super important to answer before I go. Your sugar to coffee trick is so underrated. Thank you so much, dude. George Crothers. Oh, wow. Drop some love for George in the chat. A super chat from George just came in. George, mate, thank you so much, dude. Drop 19 heart emojis each. George. Go check on Thomas, Marlon, Sean J, etc. Barnes. See if he's also freaking out from this awesome color change. Thank you all so much, guys. You are literally the bomb. Yes, there's another comp coming up when I get back from holiday this week. Hey Lloyd, is this the room that was once black? Interested as to the change. Also, what brand did you... Oh, dude, Mark Spellman's here. What? Oh my God, I have to answer this question. Guys, Mark Spellman's in the chat. Fanboying right now. Yes, this is the room that was black. My dog Pixel died last year. suddenly, and I was really upset. So I came home and painted the room black because I was really upset. And it was just getting me down. Like, eventually, so after a year, I felt like it was a bit easier to cope with. Which probably makes me sound like a loser, but it was a bit easier. Like the fact that I was struggling with it that bad. But yeah, after like a year, I was feeling like okay about it, and decided to just freshen the room up. So I painted it all white. And the chair is, I have no idea on the chair brand, but I wouldn't recommend it because, like, since it's like falling apart and it's really rattly and really loud. What I did, I went on Amazon Prime and picked up the first chair that I seen. I put in like office chair with wheels or gaming chair I searched for, and it came up and it was like a mid-range one, and I bought it, but it's not the best if I'm being completely real. Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap up because I do have to go and pack my suitcase. I'm off to Disneyland Paris with the family, and if you had to do one trick for the rest of your life, it'd be Crazy Man's handcuffs for sure. Crazy Man's handcuffs. Mark, I'm so down to research chairs with you, dude. I didn't want to recommend this chair to you and then you get it and be like, Lloyd, that chair sucks. Why did you recommend that chair? Tom Cocker says, I saw Mark's lecture last week in Northamptonshire and it was one of the best lectures, if not the best lecture I've ever seen. Yeah, dude, he's a genius. Alongside your lecture. Yeah, well, that helps. Eviatar says, after hearing your podcast with Jake, I thought of the salt and pepper switching places, like the inside. What do you say? Dude, that's crazy cool. Yeah, that'd be great. What I was saying before Matthew's super chat came in is just that you could do, instead of doing a coin into salt or sugar packet like on the tutorial Tuesday, like my whole town is contactless at the minute, or essentially contactless. So you could do it with angle 0, but using a pepper packet. So pretend to tear it off, make it go inside, and now when they tear up the sugar, the matching part of the pepper packet is now inside the sugar, and it's just kind of cool, kind of a trippy thing. All right, now David Jonathan's just come in here as well. Oh my lord, yo David, I know you're. Oh yeah, I'm heading off on the trip. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to cut it short. I've got to go and pack my suitcases and put my little boy to bed. But thank you all for tuning in. As always, I'm so blown away just by you all even being here. Your generosity is the best. I'll be back on Tutorial Tuesday, as always. Also, in the Society of Secrets, I'm posting on Tuesday as well. Scheduled to go already. The best card at any number I think I've ever created. And then on Wednesday, 5 o'clock, there's the Black Art Podcast with me and Jake on the channel. You can go to thebblackartcode.com to find out more. And on Wednesday night at 9 p.m, the Magic Podcast goes live with Craig Petty and I think it's two guests stepping in to cover me because I didn't have time to record a 4-hour podcast this week. Stu, Tom, Mark Spellman, Sean Chandler, King OK, Eviatar. Thank you all so much. I love you guys. I will see you all soon. I can't wait to hang out with you when I get back. Have a great week. Have a good rest of the weekend. Chill and get ready to tackle the week ahead. I'm going to stop talking now. Peace.